It's time now for a look at the papers with Elitsa Gadeva. And Elitsa, you're starting with a story from China that has literally gone under the radar.
That's right. The Financial Times here reports that a light plane crashed into Beijing's tallest building, raising questions about the city's, quote, sense of security. Actually, this happened on Friday, but it took the press a couple of days to catch up because of a, quote, cloak of secrecy, reports the Financial Times, and a strict censorship of traditional and social media coverage, says the paper. And foreign policy here asks, how did a private aircraft enter Beijing's sensitive space? And the article reminds that China has one of the world's most controlled airspaces, with 70% of it under military control. And then South China Morning Post here focuses on the security dilemma that this creates. And it says that flight schools across China were told to suspend all training, and safety inspections are being carried out across the whole country. The paper reminds that the pilot of the plane died when he crashed, and 13 people were injured. And finally, French paper Le Figaro also talks about the severely censored tragedy and the massive security presence around the skyscraper up to this day. And papers also remind that the crash came just days before the Communist Party's 105th birthday. That's actually today on Wednesday.
And Monaco is also making headlines after there was an explosion in the principality on Monday. What is the latest in the press?
Yeah, well, local paper Nice Matin here reports that Vadim Ermolaev, who is the, quote, controversial figure targeted by the explosion, is reported to be out of danger, but his partner remains in a critical condition. And in another article, the paper reports that the Ukrainian oligarch has been leading a quiet life in Monaco for several years, but the paper cites Ukrainian police sources who told the paper that the criminal act is linked to the world of scam call centers, and it's a network of massive financial fraud on a European scale. And Ermolaev and his family were reportedly part of this scam network, and notably one of his sons, who was arrested and sentenced last year in Cyprus. And then Ukrainian paper Ukrainska Pravda writes that Vadim Ermolaev was listed in Forbes 100 richest Ukrainian people. Let's see if we can take a look. And according to the newspaper, the oligarch was actually subject to sanctions in Ukraine due to his activities in occupied Crimea. And the article explains that he was also part of the Monaco battalion, the nickname given to wealthy Ukrainian expats who moved to the French Riviera. And finally, I want to show you this article here by a French right-wing paper, Le Figaro, and it interviewed sources who say that investigators are focusing on the Ukrainian lead. And the paper writes that Ermolaev has been once again sanctioned by Kyiv since 2023, and the attack therefore seems more of a warning than an actual attempted murder.
And moving on to something different now, the rising temperatures across Europe mean that some unexpected countries are attracting more summer season tourists.
Yeah, the Times here writes that Europe's heat waves could turn Ireland into a summer holiday hotspot. And the paper says that tourists normally used to go to Ireland for the heritage and, I guess, the pubs. But the changing climate is giving them another reason to go there, the Irish beaches. It's not the French Riviera, but the temperatures are bearable. And before, tourists used to go to Ireland despite the weather. Now they go there because of exactly these milder temperatures and weather that they can actually enjoy. And the paper quotes some tourism experts who say that another summer of extreme heat could be the tipping point and actually change for good how Europeans choose their summer destinations.
We might all get a taste for constant drizzle in the end. And finally, speaking of high temperatures, the heat wave thankfully did not stop Switzerland's yodeling festival.
Yeah, thankfully. So yodelers in Basel just had to adapt, reports the Associated Press, and city fountains became rehearsal spaces. So let's take a look how that went. Here they are for the National Yodeling Festival. They had to actually go into the fountains to rehearse, but they were basically singing everywhere, says the Associated Press. And the festival took place from Friday to Saturday, while the city was battling temperatures of up to 39 degrees Celsius. And there were around 12,000 performers and more than 200,000 visitors who came exactly for the festival and to actually hear and enjoy this very, very special way of singing, Oliver.
Those vocal cords holding up commendably well. Thank you very much for that, Ilitsa Gadeva.